So the simplest way to take an existing lecture that you would deliver from slides on PowerPoint or Google Slides or Keynote is to simply record a voiceover for each slide and then send the whole deck out as a video, which you can then post online and students can access asynchronously. This deck will show you how to do that. What this workflow does is move us from having a synchronous presentation where everybody's listening to us lecture from a set of slides all at the same time to a recorded version that can be used asynchronously by the students, with each student viewing the lecture, listening to the lecture at her own time, in her own place, at her own pace. So there are 4 big advantages to doing an asynchronous voiceover lecture. Number 1 is you can have a lot more clarity and coherence because you can think about what you're going to say. You can work off of a script. You can edit after you've recorded for a given slide. So you can take out repetitions and hesitancies and so on. Number 2, especially for teaching online, there are going to be tech glitches that take up a lot of class time. And this way, if you have a half-hour lecture, you can be sure that it's available to students as a half-hour activity. Thirdly, students can absorb the lecture at their own pace. They can replay parts they didn't understand. They can take it in parts if they wish, and so on. And lastly, the workflow is meant to be simple because it builds on your existing slides. It doesn't require us to film ourselves. It doesn't require us to do picture-in-a-picture. And so it's the sort of simplest workflow to get from what we've got to having an asynchronous video of our lectures. So this workflow imagines that we're going to start with you having a set of slide decks. Those slide decks might be in Keynote, they could be in PowerPoint, or they could be in Google Slides. If they're in Google Slides, we'll need to download them as PowerPoint and either open them in PowerPoint or Keynote, because those two platforms have the capacity to record onto the slide in a way that Google Slides does not. So the top image here is the overall transformation that we're going to accomplish. We're going to take 12 slide decks and we're going to turn them into 12 videos. The first step is going to be to bring your slide decks into the software that you use, either Keynote or PowerPoint, and you're going to look at each slide and record a narration, what you would say in class when you're showing that slide, which is exactly what I'm doing right now for these slides. You can edit, take out parts that didn't make sense. You can re-record and so on. So there's a decent amount of flexibility in the recording capability within PowerPoint or Keynote. Once you've recorded narration for each slide, you can use PowerPoint or Keynote to export a video file. The video file is then going to be uploaded to YouTube or Vimeo or another distribution platform. And then that platform will provide us with some embed code, some HTML embed coding that we can then paste into Quercus. And so your video lecture will be available to students within the course.